There is these two elderly couple named Mr. and Mrs. Phillips. They have been married for 35 years. Mr. Phillips is a professor in one of the universities in Nigeria, while Mrs. Phillips is a top surgeon in a big and well-known hospital. They loved, respected, and treasured each other so much. No wonder their marriage have lasted so long. Money is not a problem because they both earn very well and have a couple of successful businesses. During the early stage of their marriage, Mr. and Mrs. Phillips have 3 children, all girls, and Mrs. Phillips couldn't conceive again. They consulted many top gynecologists in the country and they underwent several treatments, but none was successful. As Africans, Mrs. Phillips was worried, troubled, and desperate to have a male child, but Mr. Phillips was by her side, consoling her and making several promises to calm her down. According to him, he says, "Do not trouble yourself, my darling. I'm here. Our guests are here. I don't mind at all. We are educated and a modern African family. Let us concentrate on raising our beautiful girls. When they are grown and settled, then we will tour and cruise around the whole world together after our retirement. I want to see the whole world with you by my side," says Mr. Phillips. "We will enjoy our old age. I don't care what people say. I love you." "But what if you change tomorrow?" says Mrs. Phillips. "I won't, my love. I'm here for you. I promise." 20 years after this conversation happened, Mr. and Mrs. Phillips' children are all grown. Their first daughter is now a surgeon in a big hospital in the UK. The second daughter is now an attorney working with a reputable law firm in the United States, while their third daughter is a diagnostic specialist and working too. 2 of their daughters are now married and have their own families. People look up to them and praises Mr. Phillips for sticking to his decisions and not bothered about having a male child. Both of them will retire in a few years and have made so many plans together. People around them love them and admire them so much. They see them as their role model. Recently, Mr. Phillips found himself in a company of bad friends who keeps on telling him about the importance of having a male child. At first, he insisted that he loves his wife and do not want to break her heart, and moreover, he doesn't want a second wife. But they told him not to marry, but instead find a young girl and impregnate someone who will give him a male child, but warned him not to inform his wife until the baby arrives, so that Mrs. Phillips wouldn't have a choice but to accept her fate, since the deed have already been done. After too much considerations and critical thinking, he gave in and followed his friend's advice. Mrs. Phillips was heartbroken when she found that her children were by her side, consoling her. She told her husband, "Since you wanted an heir and have gotten it behind my back, enjoy your life with your precious heir." Mr. Phillips apologized and pleaded with his wife for forgiveness, saying that he was deceived by his friends. The girl that gave birth to the baby was paid off and she went away. Mrs. Phillips packed her bags and belongings and went to live in another side of their big mansion, while Mr. Phillips was left alone with a 5-month-old baby boy who constantly cries a lot. Now, Mr. Phillips is running around buying baby diapers and baby food, while Mrs. Phillips is set to tour around the whole world with her daughters on a cruise ship, which have been their dream for so many years. Mr. Phillips is now left frustrated, angry, and shattered, while his friends are enjoying their lives. How will he raise a child at 67 years old? Someone who is supposed to be enjoying his life, his wife, his daughters, and grandchildren. I pity him. You know, in life, Before you make any decision, think twice. Please do not forget to share, comment, like and subscribe to our channel. See you in our next video. Bye.